Today we will be talking about spring knitting plans. Hi everyone and welcome back to Stitch and Thread, the channel where we're talking all about knitting, and sometimes I like to share my embroidery projects with you as well. If you're new here, my name is Anna, I'm coming to you from the UK, and today we will be talking about spring knitting plans. This is probably my favorite video to make because I get really excited about the change of seasons, the new patterns that are coming out, so like the whole idea from knitting a heavy winter garments and we go towards like a fingering or weight sort of garments and accessorize and different colors. So I find this really exciting, and I wish one thing that I would have more hands and more time on my hands to knit. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I was still thinking whether I should record this video because as of now, I have quite a few works in progress from my winter knitting plans still going, and personally I do not like to have too many projects on the go, but still I feel with the new season out there and me getting so excited about all these patterns, I would rather share with you and maybe we can knit together. So I decided to kind of put it aside and see where my winter projects will go, but still to embrace the change of seasons. So I would like to share my tentative plan for this upcoming spring. I think actually here it's already April, yeah. So I wouldn't want to hold myself accountable because, as I said, I have already quite a few projects and I don't really want to be stressed about knitting because this is my hobby. That's something I enjoy doing. So yeah, I have my eyes set on quite a few specific projects, but if I run out of time, so be it, because now I spend even more time outside with children. Luckily here in the UK we actually have quite a few sunny days and it's really exciting. Let me stop rambling and let's talk about knitting. So the first pattern I'm really excited about is Camisole number 9 by my favorite things in knitwear. The way I see it, it is a classic camisole that will not go out of fashion. You can wear it anytime. It's knitted from the top down and has lovely like details like aging. I've heard some people complain it could be a slog, but I guess if you want to have slightly elevated garment, you'd have to go through this pain. So I'm willing to dive in and do just that. So the designer suggests using knitting for olive merino, pure silk or cotton merino for this garment, and obviously it's like fingering weight yarns, and to have 30 stitches and 38 rows. So this gauge is on 3mm needles. I've thought about it. I also am a bit tighter knitter. We'll see if it will change eventually. But as of this moment, I think my gauge is still tighter than my favorite things I knitwear. So I've decided to use not knitting for olive. I have one yarn which I've used before and I absolutely love it. This is West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace in color emerald. I mean, look at this color, isn't it gorgeous? I absolutely love it. But this is actually lace weight yarn, so you have 800 meters in 100 grams. Again, love it. I love the feeling of it. I love to work with it. Obviously with the lace weight, I decided I would hold it double, and for this specific item, as I said, I was really excited. I've actually done a swatch which I might redo to try again, but look at this. So this is done on 3mm needles. Obviously the yarn hold double. It's absolutely gorgeous. I really like the fabric it creates. The only thing is I'm slightly off gauge, I think by one stitch, so it's 29 stitches I got and 44 rows, so row gauge is also different. I don't know, I was looking at my swatch and I'm not really willing to go up the needle size, but I might play around. I don't know, I might try also different needles. This was on metal needles. I'm thinking maybe to try in wooden needles because I feel that might give me a slightly different gauge. Anyway, we'll see. I love the color, I love the yarn, so as long as I can put up with the finishing details to make sure they're neat, I think I should be fine. So that's my hope. The next pattern is Shorty by Ventzel. I was in love with this pattern, I think, as soon as I saw it for the first time. It's such a lovely kind of feminine top. It has a lovely lace pattern throughout, and I even like the sleeves. I don't know how they're gonna look on me personally, but on the photo they look absolutely gorgeous. So the pattern actually came out in April 2023, and it suggests using sport plus a lace weight yarn to create a DK weight. So the designer suggests using Isaya yarn alpaca 1 and Isaya yarn trio 2, and this is the exact combination I'm planning to use. To tell you the truth, I was hunting after the specific color combination that Ventzel used, because throughout the UK it was always sold out. Literally months after months I was looking, I couldn't get a hold of it. So in only, I think, a couple of months ago, finally, I think in 2 different shops, I was able to get one and the other. And let me just show it to you. So this is Isaya Trio 2. Let me see what's the color. Linen. It's called linen. So you can see it's kind of slightly, I would say even maybe cool kind of beige color. And I absolutely love this yarn. I worked with it before. I think it's perfect for spring, summer. So it is 50% linen, 30% cotton, and 20% lyocell. I think some people said like knitting with it could be a bit harsh on their hands. I personally liked it. It's a bit crisp, yes, but I didn't feel any strain on my hands, honestly. So absolutely in love, and I really like the fabric that creates. And I would be holding it, as I say, exactly what Ventzel is using. I'll be holding it with alpaca 1 in this color. It says E0, so I guess just like a basic kind of white cream color. So as you can see, there is color difference in between, so it will create slightly kind of mild effect, again, like Ventzel has. I really want to have it in this kind of neutral color that I can combine and wear it with whatever I want. So I'm really excited that I finally got a hold of the yarn, and yeah, hopefully soon it will become my shorty. For this I'm yet to swatch, so it says for DK 21 stitches and 32 rows in 10 centimeters on still 3mm needles. I wonder if it's true. That's, sorry, I'm looking at on Ravelry. We'll see. I don't know, do you normally do DKWH on 3mm needles? Maybe it's a mistake here, but even if it's not, it's enough. I think I will need quite a few 3mm needles for spring and summer. That's how it looks like. And one more top that I keep on looking at is a CÉCILE top by Susanne Müller. It uses fingering weight yarn. It is knit from the top down and then in the round, which is nice. It came out in 2022. There are quite a few suggested yarns I can see here. Most of them are fingering weight yarns with like cotton based. I personally decided to use my leftover knitting for olive pure silk. Last year I've knitted a Milady's dress by Red Knit using this specific yarn, and I think I overestimated the amounts because I have still 2.5 balls left of this color, so it should be enough for this top. And yeah, so let me show you. This is a color Pea Shorts from Knitting for Olive. I did look on Ravelry, and quite a few people actually used this silk yarn for CÉCILE top, so it seems to be quite an easy solution to use my stash. However, only yesterday I was on Instagram, and Knitting for Olive, they teased their new design of another camisole with like vertical stripes. I'll put a picture if I can. I think it's still either in testing or whatever, so it's not out yet. But what I really liked about it is that you have quite wide straps, And this is something that CÉCILE top doesn't have. And I sometimes get annoyed with tops when I can see my bra straps. So this is something that I'm kind of pondering about. Also, what's interesting, not only you have vertical stripes for the top, you also knit it kind of sideways as well, so it's quite a different construction. And I can just omit the stripes, right? I mean, you don't really have to use stripes, you can just knit something in one color. But in any case, I just felt it could be a good contender because they use exactly the same yarn, and it looked quite interesting, I must admit. So we will see how it goes, whether I will cast on CÉCILE top before Knitting for Olive pattern comes out, but it's something to keep in mind and look out for. So the gauge for this top is 25 stitches and 34 rows and 10 centimeters. And again, it uses a 3mm needles, at least a suggested needle. So chances are I will be using at least that, if not a smaller needle. Yeah, as I say, spring is back, small needle, small needles are back as well. My next pattern is probably not very springy, at least not, at least like a hat. I don't think you consider it to be like a spring sort of item, but I think it is a spring item in its color because it's quite amazing. So I have this I've purchased this Akami yarn from Unravel Festival a couple of months ago, and I just can't get over the color. I really want it to be a hat. And yes, I was looking for pattern, and I came across OLE Hat by Susanne Müller. That came out, I think it says January 2020. It uses a DK weight yarn. There are quite a few different yarns suggested here, but they all kind of, wool and DK yarns. And I thought that I would like to combine this DK with the cashmere to create a bit of a halo. So this is Gepard cashmere lace, so lace weight yarn. I mean, it's very thin, so I just think it creates a little bit of bulk. I mean, at least I always want my hat to be as warm as possible, so that's okay. The gauge is 22 stitches and 42 rows, and why you have 42 rows, I assume, is because it's knitted in half fisherman's rib. I've never knitted anything in half fisherman's rib, so I think it could be also a good idea to try in a new technique for me. I quite like a look of a half fisherman's rib, so I think that could be a good introduction for myself. The only thing is, what's tricky in terms of hats, I often even try, like ready-made hats, and they just don't suit me. I don't know, maybe it's something about my face or my head. I think it might be a bit long. I find it a bit tricky. So I'm hoping that would be my hat, but if it comes to worst, if it doesn't suit me, I can always give it to my children. I think with this color, I think nobody can say no. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Interestingly enough, on Ravelry, it also says you need to use 3mm needles. I think I'm gonna have to purchase a few more sets, but I don't know, maybe half fisherman's rib requires small needles, because this is quite like DK weight yarn. I mean, I don't know, maybe again the same idea that you need to knit quite tightly to have tight gauge for hats. I'm a bit surprised, I guess. Anyway, I guess we'll find out when I'll be making it. So apart from the patterns suggested, I'm also hoping to knit a couple of socks, or rather pairs of socks ideally. I don't really want to say specifically, which pattern, this pattern. Chances are it will be one of the patterns from 52 Weeks of Knitting Socks book that I have. I actually quite enjoy having kind of a book. I can have pattern, I can open it like in a good old way. I guess a dozen years ago that's all people had, right? And yes, it's quite interesting. I feel like I always had patterns either, obviously purchased digitally, and then I could print if I wanted to, but I never actually had a book with patterns, so I find it quite a new experience for myself. and I quite enjoy it actually. So it might not be my last book that I purchased, which has some patterns. But obviously, you would like a book with quite a few patterns you would like to knit from. So as you can see, if not all of my projects are supposed to be knitted on like 3mm needles, so quite a fine gauge. So I think that's enough. I think it's time to stop. It's only as much knitting you can do on 3mm needles. I'm also hoping to continue working on some of the projects from my winter knitting plans. And actually, I think it's a good idea to reflect on what was achieved in the winter. So let me go quickly over the items that I've made and which were connected to my winter knitting plans, or not actually. So the first project from my winter knitting plans was a Retrosaria junior cardigan for my daughter, and that's completed. Luckily I found the buttons. It seemed to be a theme. It's very difficult for me, it seems, to find the right buttons, but it's all done and my daughter likes wearing it, so it's such a joy to actually knit for someone who would wear your knitted garments. I really enjoy it. And then I've also knitted quite a few socks. I knitted Sola socks by Ventzel. That was a plan, so I'm very happy. It's for my husband. He's wearing them as well. And I knitted Ordinary Love pair of socks from the book. So again, I absolutely love when my daughter wears these socks. She likes wearing them like at home because she really refuses to wear any slippers. So basically these are like DK weight socks, and she's really happy with them, and I'm happy as well. Then I was planning to knit rhubarb and custard socks, bassinet knits one pattern. I still really like the look of these socks, and it was supposed to be my first kind of toe up construction, but it turned out that I don't really like working on small circumference in the round, or at least using DP in the round with color work. So in the end I frogged them and I knitted Lakolk socks, again from 52 weeks of knitted socks book, which I actually really like. I like the pattern, I really like how they turned out. So there were quite a few socks knitted, but most definitely not enough. I need a lot more. So hopefully my sock knitting module will continue. I have also completed a Sonia shirt by Susanne Müller. That was not part of my winter knitting plans. It's a lovely kind of t-shirt, elevated t-shirt with quite a few nice details, like a twisted rib with, you know, Italian sun bind on finer gauge again. And yeah, it just somehow happened that I needed some kind of stockinette stitch on the go, and yeah, that t-shirt fit the bill. And I'm quite excited because I already, like in April, have like my first spring knitted garment, which I've worn already a couple of times. So that was quite exciting, even though it wasn't planned for winter. I didn't really think I would achieve it, but anyway, happy to do that. Then I have quite a few projects that I'm still working on from my winter plans. So one of them is Polina pullover, which I had quite a lot of trouble with. I kind of knitted the whole colorwork yoke, and then I just felt I had too much pulling, and I decided to tinker back all the way to the neckline. And at the moment I think I already did the yoke, not till the end. I feel like I lost my mojo a bit with that, partially because of the issues I had, but partially it's April outside and I feel there is a very little chance I would be wearing it anytime soon. So I don't know, this is one of the projects, even though I really love the pattern, I might leave it for autumn. We'll see how it goes, but as of now it's literally halfway done. And another pattern which is halfway done is my Stella quilt cushion. I had an issue with the yarn, the very last color I needed. It just turned out too dark and just it wasn't in harmony with the rest, so I had to stop, and surprisingly couldn't find any suitable yarn in my stash for the cushion. So it's actually a new ball came. I ordered some finally on my kind of online risking, because again it might not work out. But I really want to continue working on this cushion, so hopefully it will be on the go soon. And I think the last pattern from my winter knitting plans was a moulinet cardigan, which I'm actually making quite a great progress. I think it's also again halfway done. So yeah, I feel I have quite a few projects which I'm already working on, or at least the moulinet cardigan, the Stella quilt cushion, possibly Palina pullover, that I would hope to wrap up in, you know, at least in April, and then I can be fully immersed in my kind of spring garment season. So we'll see how it goes, but that's it for now. And also I hope that you are well and that you enjoy whatever you are knitting on at the moment. Feel free to share what kind of items are you excited to knit this springtime. I can always get some more inspiration, and never enough. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you like my content, and I will see you next time.